In the bustling streets of Istanbul, amongst the city's vibrant commotion and urban sprawl, we find Mehmet, a middle-aged man with a heart weathered by years and circumstances. He works at a recycling plant, a hub for paper waste, where he dedicates his life to turning the discarded pages of others' stories into something valuable again. His own story, however, is one of solitude and unspoken past sorrows, hinted at by the scars that mark his visage and the weary gaze with which he views his surroundings. Mehmet's life is a routine of simple pleasures and hard work. He is known in his community for his kind-heartedness and his open-handed generosity, especially towards the street children who, like him, find themselves forgotten by the world. Mehmet's own struggles with health, a failing kidney that binds him to regular dialysis, do not dampen his spirit. Instead, they fuel his empathy for the vulnerable. One ordinary day, as Mehmet sorts through mountains of paper, life introduces an unexpected twist in the form of a young boy hiding amongst the trash. The boy, Ali, is silent, his eyes holding stories of hardship too mature for his age. Mehmet, driven by instinct and a reflection of his younger self in Ali, decides to take the boy under his wing. In his dilapidated home, which doubles as his office, Mehmet offers Ali food, shelter, and a semblance of safety. The connection between Mehmet and Ali is tenuous at first. Mehmet, with his gruff exterior and tender intentions, tries to pierce the veil of Ali's mistrust forged by the streets. As Mehmet shares his meals and opens up about his life, Ali remains guarded, sharing little, clinging to a ragged piece of paper, the only link to his past. Determined to restore what has been lost, Mehmet sets out to help Ali find his family. It's a quest that seems almost quixotic against the vastness of Istanbul, but Mehmet is resolute. Together, they embark on a journey that is as much about finding Ali's home as it is about Mehmet confronting his own long-buried memories of abandonment and the yearning for belonging. As Mehmet's health continues to wane, his bond with Ali grows, forming a makeshift family that slowly fills the voids within their hearts. Yet, as they navigate through the underbelly of the city, the shadows of Mehmet's own past begin to loom over them, threatening the fragile stability he has built. Mehmet's journey with Ali deepens as they weave through the labyrinthine streets of Istanbul, seeking any clue that might lead to Ali's family. Each day unfolds with small victories and setbacks. Mehmet's small, cluttered living space gradually becomes a sanctuary for Ali, whose initial wariness gives way to tentative trust. Their search is arduous, as Mehmet balances his time at the recycling plant with his new, self-appointed role as Ali's guardian. His inquiries draw a mix of sympathy and skepticism from those he encounters. Many are touched by his dedication, while others doubt the wisdom of his mission, cautioning him against the potential heartache of an impossible quest. One evening, as Mehmet and Ali sort through a new batch of paper for recycling, Ali finds a photograph that triggers a flash of recognition. It's a torn corner of a family photo, creased and faded, but it ignites a spark of hope. With this scant evidence in hand, Mehmet's determination is renewed, and he begins to knock on the doors of neighborhood mosques, markets, and community centers, asking after the people in the photograph. Their search attracts the attention of local street gangs and unsavory characters, hinting at a darker underbelly to Ali's past. Mehmet shields Ali from these dangers, but the encounters leave him shaken, stirring up memories of his own troubled youth. The protectiveness he feels for Ali solidifies into something profound, a paternal bond that surprises and scares him in equal measure. Meanwhile, Mehmet's health deteriorates. The long hours and constant worry take their toll, and his dialysis sessions become more draining. Friends at the recycling plant, like the loyal Ganzi, urge Mehmet to slow down, to think of himself. But Mehmet, driven by a growing love for Ali and haunted by the specters of his past, pushes his limits. As the pieces of Ali's past begin to assemble, the story they tell is one of sorrow and loss. They discover that Ali's father was involved with dangerous individuals, and his mother's whereabouts remain a mystery shrouded in whispers and rumors. The deeper they dig, the more perilous their situation becomes, as the criminal elements connected to Ali's father start to see Mehmet and the boy as threats that need to be silenced. One night, as they return from their inquiries, they find Mehmet's home ransacked, a clear warning from those who wish to keep Ali's family history buried. Shaken but unbroken, Mehmet realizes that the quest to find Ali's family has become a fight against forces much larger and more malevolent than he had ever imagined. Despite the fear, there's a silver lining. The struggle brings Mehmet and Ali closer, creating a familial bond that neither had anticipated. Mehmet begins to envision a future where he could adopt Ali, give him the home he's never had, and perhaps in doing so, find redemption for his own life's regrets. As Mehmet's and Ali's search for the boy's family narrows, the obstacles they face grow increasingly daunting. Each lead seems to evaporate as quickly as it appears, and the specter of Ali's lost family haunts their every step. But Mehmet's resolve does not waver. If anything, the challenges only steel his determination to provide Ali with the answers he deserves. The journey is taxing, with Mehmet's health issues casting a growing shadow. His dialysis becomes more frequent, and the sessions leave him exhausted, both physically and emotionally. Yet, he persists, driven by a sense of duty that has become his life's purpose. Their quest leads them to an old, abandoned house that holds secrets to Ali's past. Within its crumbling walls, they find remnants of a life once lived, a child's toy, a woman's scarf, a family portrait that matches the torn photograph Ali found. The discovery is bittersweet, providing closure but also uncovering a history of tragedy. Ali's parents had been victims of a cruel twist of fate, leaving the boy an unwitting orphan of circumstance. Confronted with the truth, Mehmet must make a choice. He can continue to shield Ali from the painful realities of the world or prepare him to face it. In a moment of profound clarity, Mehmet understands that his role in Ali's life is not to be a savior but a guide. With a heavy heart, Mehmet decides it's time to let go. He contacts a social worker who had been kind to them during their search, and together they arrange for Ali to be placed in a caring home that can provide him with the stability and support he needs. As he watches Ali leave, Mehmet feels a pang of loss but also a glimmer of hope. In helping Ali, he has found a measure of peace and a sense of redemption for the ghosts of his own past. The story concludes with Mehmet returning to his solitary life, but he is changed. The walls of his small home, once a fortress against the world, now seem less confining. He finds solace in his work, in the smiles of the street children he continues to help, and in the knowledge that he has made a difference in at least one person's life. Mehmet's health battles continue, but he faces them with a new sense of purpose, knowing that life, no matter how fraught with hardship, is worth living fully and selflessly. Paper Lives ends not with grand gestures, but with quiet introspection. Mehmet's journey with Ali has taught him about the resilience of the human spirit and the power of connection. As he walks through the streets of Istanbul, the city that has been both his burden and his home, Mehmet carries with him the lessons learned and the love shared, ready to face whatever comes next with a hopeful heart.